And now, Free Fire Radio is about to commence.
Now,
we have a very special guest today, and we want to give him a warm Free Fire Radio welcome. A gentleman who has decided to come to the plate, stand up and run for the 5th district of our supervisor, and his name is Corkey Harmon. Welcome, Corkey Harmon.
So who is Corkey Harmon?
Is this the part where I stand up?
Whatever you...
You guys are standing up. I'm feeling...
Well, I'm going to sit down. You go ahead. You want to be in front? Right. Do you want to be in front of the, whatever you want?
I'm comfortable either way. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. I'm a lifetime member, resident of Shasta County. I was born over here on the hill. I like to tell people you can go find my records and you can find out who I am. I'm very involved in the community, business and pleasure and, functions, school. I look out here, I see somebody I actually coach some football with. My family, I live out in Palo Cedro. My family, I have 3 kids, two daughters, and then I have a son still at home, is at Foothill High School. My wife Cindy, who's not here, I asked her to come here, but I told you earlier, she's very private, and she's doing a lot for me. If it wasn't raining, she was going to be putting signs out with the postal fence driver. All right. That's what kind of woman she is. Okay, she's 100% behind me. But she doesn't like to be right here where I'm at right now. I'm a businessman here in this community, and I've been in business in this community for over 25 years. Always had the mindset to work for myself. I have an entrepreneurial type personality. So the big question is, if that's your mentality and your personality, what are you doing in politics? That hurt a lot when you said I was a politician. You did say that.
Can I retract that statement?
That would be nice.
All right.
Find out not what I'm about this year, not what I'm about in the last few months, but what I'm about my whole life. I've got nothing, you put that big target on your forehead. I've got nothing in my background that I think it's silly when people step up and do something like this here, and then they got all kinds of things that get dragged out of the closet, I'm not sitting here telling you I'm a perfect man and I'm, got wings on my back or nothing like that. No, but I am a working man. I'm an honest working man, and I want the opportunity to see what just some good business sense will do at a level of county supervisor. And the first thing you got to do is get familiar with the people that are there. There's some good people that are in our local government. I think the real challenge is to work with those people, work closely with those people, bring somebody in there that knows how to work with people, that people can look you in the eyes and trust what you say is what you're going to do. If you can't do it, if you're not sure you can do it, don't tell them you can. Just gain rapport with the different agencies, the different individuals, gain rapport with them, get a relationship with them. And my biggest ticket item, I guess you'd call it, is that I want to see decisions made here in Shasta County that are best for the whole community. My background has forced me to work with more agencies than your normal person that would step up to do this. Whether it's environmental, like air quality, fish and game, Caltrans, city, permitting, those are the kind of things I'm used to. And I'm used to having to bring people together to stay focused on getting a job done. And if I didn't do that, it was coming out of my pocket. Because as a contractor, you step up and say, I'm going to do this project for X amount of dollars. And if you don't get it done on time, you get penalized. If you don't get it done under budget, you pull it out of your pocket. I've never had a project that failed.
Could you name specifically, perhaps, a few things that you've been dissatisfied with that maybe propelled you to run?
Well, and you can't keep everybody happy. If you're going to do this job, you're not going to keep everybody happy. And if you try to keep everybody happy, you're not going to take care of your primary goal, which is to make good decisions for the community, for Shasta County. The gravel pit, the Tullis gravel pit, you know, that was a difficult, you know, nobody wants it in their backyard. I happen to have some experience with that because I'm in that business. A lot of people said, well, you probably wouldn't have supported that, and that's not true. I would have supported that, and I did support that, and the reason is because I have a background in that industry. My background is that a few years ago we did a study on the reserves in Shasta County, the reserve of aggregates, and this all calculates down to how much it costs you and I to build a home or maintain the driveway that we have, or the next project that the community wants to build, and it has to do with, are we going to truck from one side of the valley all the way to the other side of the valley, which is a lot of impact, trucking, and the difficult part is it was going to make some impact right there where it was coming out of, but unfortunately we can't pick where our natural resources are. That happened to be a good choice. Les Baugh voted against it. Well, it wasn't a good decision in my opinion. I'm very much in favor of preserving our large land tracts, and you know, trying to keep those people that own those large parcels affordable, you know, to keep them that way and not bust them all up. The tank project was a large transmission lines that they were trying to put through Cottonwood. You know, everybody's familiar with that, and it was very intrusive. Now that I was glad to see not happen. I'm all about making good decisions, right decisions, not making wrong decisions, and making decisions that are right for the whole community. That were eminent domain type of things. I assume those are tough. We have way too much government right now. Well, we're eating the seed corn here. You know, that's a term I think most of you are familiar with.
Seed corn?
The seed corn. That's an easy question for me to answer because the primary thing on the top of my mind is all the people that are hurting. The people are hurting because people are not, I'm not going to say starving to death, but people are hurting. They're going bankrupt. The business is poor. We got to create jobs. We got to stimulate in a positive way our local economy. There's so much going on. You can't hardly if you stay on the news very much, you kind of want to just shrivel up and get depressed. But we got to do something positive. Just like you're saying, we got to create some jobs somewhere. We got to stimulate the economy. How are you going to do that? Well, there's things like let's not send jobs that can be done right here to Sweden. I heard a story the other day about outside contracts that weren't given to some local businesses. Some preference. I want to say one more thing, Carl, real quick. This is something that happened last week, and it had to do with the gravel pit, Lyle Tullis's gravel pit. If that gravel pit wasn't there's a good chance that the second and third bidder that came up on that, Lyle got the job, the Cottonwood, we call it the Cottonwood grade, and it was a huge quantity of aggregate that needs to be out there. Those jobs stayed here in Shasta County because Lyle Tullis had that pit. It could have ended up going to Tehama County. The next one of the low bidders on that project was Knife River. They're not even in Shasta County. All that material would have started coming up the freeway, and those jobs would have primarily been jobs that were supplied outside this county. That's a perfect example of the kind of thing we need to do. Sir.
Okay, you know, we appreciate, first of all, Corkey for coming here and standing up here in front. Well, believe it or not, there are people that represent us or that want to represent us do not want to be questioned. They don't want to be on the radio. They don't want to be here. And I find that amusing, why it is. You know, why is it, what are you afraid of? I mean, what are you afraid from the people that you want to represent that you can't answer their questions? Even if you can't answer that specific question, because nobody has got knowledge that's a mile deep. So there may be things you don't know. But at least you're standing there in front of your constituents, or the ones that you want to be your constituents and your fellow North State people. So we like to thank. First of all, give a hand for yourselves.
Thank you. And thank you.
For Corkey Harmon for showing up today. Thank you so much, Corkey.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
And last thing I want to say. Oh yeah, Fred.
Thank you, Fred Chavez.
Fred Chavez, of course.
The
Accent Digital over
guys.
here. Tobacco and Brew.